Hi, folks. Good morning. This is Adrian, and it looks like it's the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and jump in and get started. I do still see folks logging on, but hopefully you guys can catch up. We'll also be recording today's session, so just in case you miss anything, you should get a recording for the presentation and everything that we cover sometime later today. So thank you all so much for joining us today for our eClinicalWorks Scribe mobile webinar. My name is Adrian Shrimp, and joining me today to present is my colleague and certified trainer, Meredith Angel. So we are really excited to share some tips with you guys today that may help if you, like me out there, are experiencing the burnout and the overburdened by the increase in all the required tasks today. So I hope some of you guys can take away some tips from our webinar that will give you hopefully give you back some extra time to enjoy with your family or friends or do the things that are really important to you guys. But before we jump into the demonstration, I want to take just a second and tell you guys a little bit about us here at Group One, tell you a little bit about what we do. Some of you folks joining us today may not have had the chance to talk with any of us yet. So we're actually a 25-plus-year-old company, and we've been providing revenue cycle management services for a very long time. So we have a long-standing history delivering billing and consulting services to practices just like many of you. So we actually work with practices of all sizes, specialties, so we pretty much cover the gamut nationwide. And what we really feel sets us apart here at Group One is our experience working on eClinicalWorks. In fact, actually over a decade ago, we became a gold certified sales, training, ECW support and implementation partner for eClinicalWorks. So some of you on the line maybe even had the chance to work with us in the past, whether it's for a revenue cycle or maybe just the ECW implementation services. So we really understand the software from an end user perspective, since we actually use the system each and every day to run our business. So we sit in your shoes, we understand from an end user perspective how to use the system. So if you find yourself really wanting to optimize use of eClinicalWorks, some of you guys out there, I talk to you all every day, workflow challenges, maybe you're at the process where you're upgrading to 11E, and you want some help kind of working through that with training and implementation, we would love the opportunity to help you work through some of those challenges. If any of you on the line are currently outsourcing your billing, or maybe you've considered it in the past, or maybe in the next upcoming year as you're looking to make changes in 2019, I'll tell you guys a little bit about our billing service for any of you guys who might be interested. We really fully optimize eClinicalWorks, as I mentioned. So we actually work with practices and we log on to their system each and every day to kind of manage the whole claims management process. So our clinics continue to be able to run all of their own reports. They're able to measure the RCM performance. We really act as a business partner, extension of our clinic's offices. So we really kind of take it as a team partner approach. So here at Group One, our clients are assigned a client success team. So if you're wondering what does it look like to work with Group One from the revenue cycle standpoint, these team members are going to bring years of experiences over the years dealing with all sorts of RCM challenges and are really here to help serve all the day-to-day needs for practices just like you. So you could expect to work with a billing consultant on your team, a coding consultant, a client performance manager, team leads, and an eClinicalWorks certified trainer like Meredith, among a lot of other folks that you'll be working with should you decide to work with Group One. So I want to talk just a little bit on what a full service. So this slide here represents fragmented versus the next slide shows you a little bit more about this would be a better feel for what the type of services that Group One would provide. So I'll share these slides with you guys after today if you want to kind of take back a peek, especially if you're thinking about revenue cycle management services with Group One, you might find these helpful for comparisons, even as you're evaluating other vendors out there. So all of the slides in green represent all the things that Group One would do for you. A couple things I might point out are things that I feel are really kind of set us apart, things that I hear our customers tell us all the time that are very valuable to them. Things like having the certified coders on our accounts. That's extremely helpful. So if you need help with coding education, making sure that the codes that you have have chosen are appropriate. Modifiers need to be added. We understand that physicians aren't billers, so that's really what we're here for, and you could use the aid of our certified coders as help as part of our revenue cycle management services. So that is something that you could look forward to. We also do a lot of other things. A couple I might point out are things like talking to your patients when we send out statements. They're going to have questions. They're not going to necessarily always understand their EOBs and their statements. We're here to help field those questions, and we run your month-end reports, really cover the whole revenue cycle back end. So if you guys have any questions, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that today because I know you guys are excited to see the Scribe webinar, but definitely let me know. Would love the opportunity to talk with you a bit more about our services. So some of you today are joining us as already eClinicalWorks users. You know all about the system, but we also have practices on the line today that are really in the process of evaluating eClinicalWorks. So just a recap for you folks. So eClinicalWorks is a complete EHR practice management technology. It is available on the cloud. It's going to give you easy access from anywhere, really just on your Chrome browser. Super simple. So if you're looking for software that can allow your patients easy access to the records with the patient portal, easy online booking capabilities, auto appointment reminders with text, voicemail, email, kiosks for a self check-in. If you're looking for multiple ways to chart your patient visit with tools like Scribe that we're going to talk about today, templates, order set, automate the back-end office. If you're looking for things that will help you with your population health, chronic care management, telehealth, and lots more, you found the right place. eClinicalWorks can offer all of that and more. So certainly, if you have any questions about the full system, we're here to help with those things too. So if any or all these things are on your list of features needed in a new EMR, I definitely encourage you to at least evaluate the system. Maybe a good fit for your clinic. So today, the reason that we're all here and the reason that we decided to present on this topic is the topic of Scribe, is because so many of our physicians out there that we're hearing from, y'all are feeling the burnouts. You have so many things to do. We're frustrated with spending so many hours at work dealing with difficult patients. I hope today's solution that we provide you will help give you a little bit more work-life balance. So Scribe is a free-form dictation into your progress notes. So it's really just going to enhance your clinical documentation. You're able to use it at the point of care. You're able to do it right from your smartphone into your patient encounter. I don't think I'm going to have to talk about all the benefits because I certainly think Meredith is going to do a wonderful job showing you guys that today. So I'll let you guys let us know what you think. But I'm going to go ahead and flip things over to Meredith, and we're actually going to jump into some of the settings eClinical for you ECW users out there, and then actually show a demo of the products. And then afterwards, if you guys have any questions, pricing, want to know more about how it works, you're more than welcome to use that chat functionality in the GoTo chat panel. And Meredith and I will do our best to get your questions answered. And don't forget, keep a lookout for that recording today. If you like what you see and maybe you want to share it with some other folks at the clinic, we would love for you to do that. All right, Meredith, I'm going to switch it over.
Thank you, Adrienne. So I'm just going to go quickly through what you need to enable Scribe on eClinical Mobile. So the first thing obviously would be eClinical Mobile. So that's your mobile application that you can see your schedule, see your patient's appointments for the day, and it would allow you to get into the Scribe. The other two are Scribe, which would enable it both on your desktop and your phone, and then the speech recognition mobile solution. So that's the solution that allows you to use Scribe on your mobile device and to enter directly into the progress notes. I'm actually going to jump right into a video that I just took a few minutes ago. So this is my phone that I went through a whole appointment on Scribe. There's one more setting that you'll have to get into once you open up your eClinical Mobile. I should have said before, so when you enable those three applications in the product activation screen, you do have to also enable each provider, but it's pretty simple, especially speech recognition mobile. You'll get this organization ID, and you get that when you activate this product, and then you simply enable these providers. And we can provide training if you have never used mobile, if you've never used Scribe, and obviously if you've never used this mobile speech recognition. once you open the app, the first thing you actually want to do is go to your settings, because when you enable this application, there is a new feature, the second one from the top there, it says auto merge. Now, if you don't have auto merge selected, it's not going to push what you dictate directly into your progress note. Instead, it would go to your N jelly bean, your dictation jelly bean, where you'd have to approve it first, and then you'd be able to push that into the progress note. Now, I think the whole point of having speech recognition on your mobile device is being able to put that right into the progress note without having to go through another middle step. So here I'm just deactivating and reactivating it. So I would recommend turning that on as soon as you get into the application. Now, next I'm going to the schedule. There we go. So on this schedule, you can see there's a new icon there, the little microphone icon, that's first, and there's also a little microphone icon above it. The microphone icon is what opens up your Scribe, so that mobile recognition program. And then if you notice on that first appointment that I made for the day, there's a microphone because I did Scribe dictation into it, and a little check mark. That's your done notification for Scribe. And you can obviously also lock the note from Scribe in mobile as well. I just didn't do that with this note, but then your padlock would lock as well. So when you click on that microphone, it opens up this Scribe screen. Now there are a few different features of this screen. So first of all, you have the Scribe it at the top. So that's when you're done scribing your notes. You have this middle section where you put all of your notes and you can dictate into, but then at the bottom left, there is the three horizontal lines. Sorry, it's going a little quickly. The three horizontal lines down there, and that opens up a sort of settings area of Scribe, and it goes through some of the quick links that you can use and the commands that you can use. So you can see the first option is what you can say. So if you click that, it'll go through Scribe commands. These are all of the sections of the progress note that you can command. So if I wanted to dictate into examination or HPI, I would simply say HPI and start dictating. And you can also go through some corrections. So you could say all caps that after you've marked or after you've scribed something into HPI if you wanted everything to be capitalized, or caps that. You could also select a certain amount of words that you just dictated and say delete or deselect that. There's also this manage vocabulary section. So if Scribe doesn't recognize a word that you often say, if it always puts something else, what you can do is enter the word. So I'm going to enter delicate, and I put it in the top section. And then you pronounce the word by pressing the microphone. So I would press that, say delicate, and it remembers what that word sounds like, and it always enters the text that you added. When you go back, you can see your full library. I only have that one word in there, but you can obviously add more. And finally, you have this help section. So this is a good little quick guide that can help you remind you what certain actions will do, or if you're looking how to do something. Now, I'm going to show you one thing back in the desktop version because it's important for where certain items get dictated. And if any of you have used Scribe before, you'll know some of these setup features. But with certain sections of Scribe, you have to indicate what category you want them to go into. So for instance, when you need to be on the Scribe tab of the progress note, and when you click this info button and go to this settings gear, you need to set default categories for these sections. So for HPI, ROS, examinations, procedure, and preventive med, you set a default category. And when you dictate that free text, it will go into this category of HPI. So when I dictate into HPI, it's going to go under new symptoms. Now back in mobile, so here I'm going to start my dictation. And there are a couple of ways. So you can either say which category you want to go to, or you can click the 3 little horizontal bars off to the right. So I just said chief complaints, flu, abdominal pain, headache, and cold. And you can see there's a mistake here. So I separated them by a comma, which isn't my favorite way of showing it. But see, you can click the 3 horizontal bars and go into your sections as well. So if you didn't want to say chief complaints, you could select it from here and it would also put it into your category, and then you could start scribing. If you need to fix something, there's a keyboard icon. You can see it's highlighted in blue now, and that would open up your normal keyboard on your iPhone or other mobile device, and you can erase certain items. Now, so I'm done with this little chief complaints category for now, so I click Scribe it in the upper right corner. When I do that, it opens up the progress note and it shows you what that looks like. So here's what I don't like about this. So it has everything for flu, abdominal pain, headache, and cold on one line on number 2. So to get back, I click the microphone in the upper left corner. And instead of separating them by comma, I'm going to say new line. So flu, new line. Abdominal pain, new line. Head cold, new line. So the commands, just you need to pay attention to them to begin with. And now you can see each one of those reasons has its own number. So again, upper left corner, you can get back to Scribe by clicking the microphone. And now I'm going to do a few more sections of the progress note. So I'm going to add an HPI here, a review of systems, an examination. So HPI, and it puts the colon there for you and goes to the new line, and then you can start your dictation. So you can say, 29-year-old female has ongoing flu and cold symptoms with 102-degree fever for 2 weeks, period. Patient has taken Tylenol and used cold compress to reduce fever, period. And if I say select that, it'll select your last sentence. And I said caps that, which made it all capital letters. And then I decided I didn't like it, so I'm going to start over. And again, say patient has taken Tylenol to reduce fever and use cold compress to reduce fever, period. If you wanted to stop recording, you can simply hit the record button in the bottom right. ROS, again, it would enter the colon for you and go to the new line. And ROS is a little bit different. Because I chose my general constitutional category to be my default, if I say denies fever, admits headache, and admits weight loss, it will enter it. Some of you know with the green link on the progress note, so it will link it to your category and the symptom that already exists. It doesn't just use your free text. The review of systems is a little bit unique in that way. Now entering an examination. And for this, my default category would just be my general examination. So any notes that I dictate into mobile, so high fever, sensitive to light, stomach pain, comma, lung sounds diminished, period. Now, the next item is adding ICD and CPT codes. Now, you should be able to say show list, and it would pull up your ICD list, or show CPT list, and it would pull up your CPT list. Or again, if it's not working, sometimes I find that that command is a little bit slow. So I just click my 3 horizontal bars on the right and I click into show list and I add my ICD code. So I search for it, just as you do if you were doing charge capture, a simple charge capture in eClinical Mobile. And that functionality is obviously still there. So if you still want to do your out of office visits, this eClinical Mobile speech recognition just provides you a more comprehensive way to document in your whole progress note versus only being able to add ICD and CPT codes. So you can see you have all of the sections of the progress note available to you. And you have your smart search available within that show list functionality. So you can simply type flu and it will come up with the codes for you. You do not have to remember your codes. Also in eClinical Mobile, remember there's a way to set favorites. So if you had your favorite ICD and CPT codes, they would list here to begin with. That's why it's showing me hypertension, diabetes, and so on that list. That's my short favorite list. And you can set those yourself. Each provider can set them themselves. So finally, I'm going to add an E&M code, the 99213, and I'm going to scribe it. Again, that scribe it functionality is pushing it straight into your progress note. And I click done. And getting back into your database. So I'm in the E version of eClinicalWorks, and getting back into my database, you can see it enters straight into here. So you have your flu. I have flu on here 3 times because one pulled from my resource schedule and then the other 2 I added. So this mistake that I made, I didn't correct it before I entered it into Scribe. So you can go in here and simply delete if you had extra, in my case, I have extra flu symptoms added. And you can get onto the computer and make any further corrections you need to your progress notes. And you can see with that review of systems, so it enters it under the category and symptom that's already mapped within your system. As I said before, you could have locked this note as well on your eClinical Mobile device. And when that gets locked, that's when our billing services take over and convert that encounter into a claim. So really, it speeds up your whole process of getting reimbursed for this visit if you're able to document using eClinical Mobile speech recognition. It also takes away you having to perhaps carry a computer around to your hospital or nursing rounding visits, or even in the office, you can have this dictation available to you. Adrian, do you want to come back on? And if we have any questions, we can go through them.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job, Meredith. Yeah, I think just a couple of things to point out too. I mean, being mobile, as I think, is huge value to using Scribe. If you're sitting in your car waiting for your kids at soccer practice or whatever, you can keep up with your notes. You can keep dictating because they'll pull right into your progress note. So I think just having that, being really mobile, I think is great value to using the Scribe on your phone. So absolutely. So guys, if you would like to leave some questions, now would be the time to do that. Meredith and I will kind of run through the question board just to see if anyone has anything. I'm going to do a quick share screen of mine just to kind of go through pricing. So if you are already an eClinicalWorks user, what I would recommend that you do, I would double check the contract that you have in place right now just to make sure you don't already have Scribe and maybe a bundled package or something. And if you don't, you can just log a support ticket to get that enabled. If you guys want any training on Scribe, we would be more than happy to do that. As I mentioned, Group 1 has certified trainers just like Meredith on staff. We love to do additional eClinicalWorks training, so that's certainly something that we could provide. Just you can follow up, let us know, reply back to any of the webinar reminders or the survey that you get. If having some training would be something that would be valuable to your practice, that's certainly something that we can help with at Group 1. So this is the Scribe Touch mobile package that eClinicalWorks offers. So I think this next steps, if you have eClinicalWorks already, just log a support ticket and request this package to be added. And that's the way that you would get that enabled. If anyone has any questions, anything like that, we'll hang tight for just a few more minutes to field questions. I don't think I see any just yet. Meredith, do you see any questions coming through?
I don't, but I also wanted to mention, and we didn't go through it, this is just a short little webinar, but there are further templates and macros that you can build within Nuance. So that speech recognition is powered by Nuance, and you would be able to receive a login and kind of go in and build further templates like you have within the database already. And that would allow you to kind of show maybe your whole general examination, and it would show like head, and you could indicate normal and say next, and then it would go to chest, where you could say maybe labored breathing or whatever those symptoms might be. So there are further templates that you can build within Nuance as a whole.
Yeah, and I'm certain there's probably many more tips and tricks that Meredith probably has that would be able to help make this a little easier as well. I did see a question on how much would it cost per provider. So the last screen that I had pulled up, this is the per provider fee. I would double check that you don't already have it. So some of eClinicalWorks has bundled packages now. So just make sure it's not something that you already have, but otherwise that would be the per month per provider package.
One of the questions was, does it map to sections in the HPI or just the review of systems? So I've only gotten it to map to sections within the review of systems, not the HPI. The HPI is only a free text unless you use those templates. And you can load templates. You just have to build those within Nuance.
I see a question about, does the module of dictation capture data for reporting purposes? Yes. So the reason why Scribe really was developed is to be able to capture structured data. So if you saw as Meredith was dictating, it was pulling in as structured sections. So you would be able to use it for reporting purposes.
And also if you use those CPT2 codes, you could enter those right into the CPT section as well, the billing section.
I see another question. Can this be used without mobile? Yes, absolutely. So Scribe is also available. So if you are a physician or a provider who maybe already has Dragon through Nuance, and that is something that you would be able to use within eClinicalWorks as well. So if you just have the Dragon software and your Power Mic, and you want to use Scribe for that instead of doing it on your phone, absolutely, that's an option.
There's another question, if the patient is not on the schedule in the EMR, how do I initiate a note on a patient? You can definitely do that. So you'd have to go to the patient's hub, and you do that by searching for them within mobile, which is on the home screen just at the bottom. You can start your search for a patient, and when you open up their hub, you can do new appointment. Now you have to give them a new appointment in order to be able to scribe into their progress note, but you can initiate all of that from the phone.
Meredith, the next question, I don't know if you saw that. That kind of ties a little bit to about what you showed at the very beginning when you're doing your phrases and the words.
I'd honestly have to do more research about linking it all to the structured data, especially because all of the mapping for the different quality measures for MIPS are different. But it's certainly something I can look into.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys, that's the last question that I see. I'm sure some additional questions will come up. And again, feel free to reach out to us. I think there's going to be a survey going out later today. You're more than welcome to complete that. Those reminders that you get, those go back to me. So you're welcome if you need any additional information, just to reply to that, and we'll get you guys taken care of. But like I said, if you're already an ECW user, I would go ahead, if you want to get this enabled, just to go ahead and log a support ticket to get the process started. If you are wanting to add some training, that's something that we would be able to help you with here at Group 1. training on Scribe Mobile. So thanks so much, guys, for spending a little bit of your afternoon with us. We really appreciate your time. If there's any other webinars that you guys find would be helpful, let us know. We're always looking for new content, helpful things to present. So you're welcome to complete that on the survey if there's any topics out there that would be helpful to you guys. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and keep a lookout for the recording if you guys want to take a second look. Thanks so much.